All right, here we go. Mitch, thanks for joining me here today here in sunny Southwest Florida.
It's a pleasure to be here, let me tell you.
Why don't you introduce yourself to everybody first? It's Mitch from
MDK Construction. We are from Toronto. We are new to Naples. We're a custom, bespoke, high-end home builder here in Naples. Opened up about June of last year. Our office is about opening end of May. And we'll be ready for business. We're really looking forward to making an impact here.
Now, is that going to be a showroom as well as office space?
It will be a mini showroom. The way that we're designing it is going to show off a lot of the finishes and the quality that we offer. It'll be unlike most offices you've seen down here, actually.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I have to know.
There's some glass in there too, but I'm sorry, it's already spoken for.
Okay. All right. Well, we still got a lot of time here, so maybe we can change your mind and be very persuasive. How the hell did you find Naples? So you're north of the border.
Yep.
About as far away from Naples, Florida as you can get in here in North America. How did you find Naples?
I've been coming to Florida as a kid for years, but on the East Coast.
Okay.
Grandparents had a place on the East Coast, going there. So I've always known about Florida. I've always enjoyed coming down here. But we had a shift in our life in Toronto, and my wife and I and my kids, we were actually planning on moving out of the city anyway, moving north. And I have a client that had a place down here in Marco Island. And so I've known about Naples. I've known about the market. I hadn't really been following it, but when things started changing for us up in Toronto and really like, what are we really going to do? What's our next move? Florida was kind of a natural choice because of the options out there. And for me, it was Texas or Florida, really, in terms of a builder. I have family in Florida, so it's also nice to be close to them. I don't have anyone in Texas. It's nice to be on the water here. Same time zone as back home because my business back home is not closing. We're keeping that. So it was just a natural fit, the weather, the lifestyle, and the opportunity down here. Looking at the market, looking at the types of homes that are being built, the type of clientele, it really makes a difference to be somewhere that people really value what you do.
100%.
Right.
How big is the company up in Canada?
We're a very, very small company. I mean, I've got 9 employees. I do 5 or 6 jobs at a time. I'm very personally involved in
I was
my
just going to ask
projects.
you, how hands-on are you on the project?
So I'm not hands-on running the tools, but I
Oversight.
But I can run any tool to build a house. I mean, I got my start building decks and fences when I was 15, 16 years old. So I can run any tool, and I'm good on the tools. It's not my job to build a house with my hands, but the fact that I have the knowledge of how to build a house, how to use the tools, and how things are supposed to be done, I can make sure that the trades aren't pulling one over on me, and I know that everything's supposed to be done a certain way, and I can execute properly. So, and I do that because, I'm a bit of a control freak, and it's really good to have that mentality when you're building a high-end custom home. So my hands on everything. And it's really, it really shows in our finished product, I think.
I think it's a good segue for this question. What is one or two of the things that you look for in particular when collaborating with a new subcontractor? Because now you're moving from Toronto down to Naples. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest things that we had moving from Massachusetts to Florida was like, we don't have any contacts. Like, you kind of put a premium on contacts till you don't have any. You're like, shit, I don't know anybody.
Right.
So what are some of the key things that you look for when getting into bed with a new subcontractor?
It's no different than in Toronto when I get calls. Hey, I'm a guy, I'm looking for work. I do drywall, I do trim, and we've got our guys already. So, I don't want someone to come to me. I want to go to them, and I want it to be through a certain avenue, that it's through a client that's used them through word of mouth of people I trust, and I want to see their work. I want to see that if I say I'm going to have a meeting at 9 o'clock, that they show up at 9 o'clock, not 10 after 9. I want to know that the quality of their work is going to last and stand the test of time. I want to know that I get value. I want to know that if they're pricing a job, that I'm not getting screwed over. And I'm going to trust the people I go to for vetting those trades. And it's no different than how I do it in Toronto now. I've got my core guys, obviously, for years. But down here, we've met a bunch of people that already I've said, no way
Yeah.
It's not happening. And then I've also met people that say, okay, there's a good guy, but there's a lot more no ways than there are good guys so far for me.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you share a story of a time maybe that you had a subcontractor in Toronto or down here that did something that really makes them stand out and separate themselves from all the other trades?
On a good note or on a bad note?
Well, both.
Okay.
Both.
I'd say on a good note, I've got some trades who really look out for my best interest.
Give me an example.
So one of my trim carpenters, as an example, he doesn't have his horse blinders on when he's doing the work. He sees something, he knows the effect it's going to be on 3 trades down the line, or something that needs to be done so that he can do it properly. He's looking at stuff and he's like, Mitch, you got to get this guy in here to do this. This is going to affect my end product. And it's not just, oh, okay, the drywall's done, the floors are in, let's start doing trim, and whatever I do, I do. So they're team players, right? They know that everyone's role in building these custom homes is equally important to getting to the final product and to deliver the product that we do. And if one person fucks up, it's a domino effect. And then it's a delay, it's a cost, it's a quality issue. So these guys they know that, and if shit goes down, I'm a calm guy, but like if something's done wrong, especially after I've asked to be done right or a certain way, it's not going to be very pretty. And I'm not a yeller, I'm not a screamer, but at the same time, they're going to know that I mean business, and it's going to be on them to fix it, and they're going to know I'm not happy, and they're not going to do it again.
Have you ever had a sub, because one of our best builders to this day down here, our relationship started on a fuck up that I made at the house, and something happened and I broke a piece of glass, and it caused everybody to panic because they assumed, oh my God, we're not going to see this glass for another 3 weeks. It's going to delay this. I'm not going to get the closing. Because we have our own factory, we were able to get them a piece of glass within a couple hours. That fuck up ended up being the best thing that ever happened to that relationship, because he said to me, Keith, trades are going to make mistakes. He goes, what's to me is, who's willing to take accountability for it and not blame it anywhere else or hide it? And then who's going to fix it the quickest? You feel the same way?
Absolutely. And I'm not perfect either. We all make mistakes.
Right.
And it's exactly that. It's accountability. Who's going to own up to the mistake? How are you going to remedy the error? And sometimes you can hide it from the client because it's not necessary to tell them, and you still get shit done. But sometimes you have to let them know. And being honest is really the best way to deal with it. Because somewhere down the road, someone's going to find out that you lied to them or that you fucked up, and it's going to look worse. So definitely accountability and having the trades, and it's happened many times. And those are the people that you rely on. So in my position, having someone like you, and if something fucks up, and I'll use glass as an example, I was doing a salon, actually, a high-end hair salon in Toronto, and we had a curved piece of glass that had to go into the showcase, and we had it templated, and they had an opening party, and the first piece failed in the mold. Second piece they brought, and the ends kicked out, so it didn't return enough to tie into the millwork properly. And they got the third piece made in time to where it was siliconed in place, and the silicone was still wet for the opening party. And that glass guy, and he's not even making the glass, but they bend over backwards to make sure that things happen, because they know the importance. You could tell
he was putting
an effort. And I've used them for years. Absolutely. They knew the importance. They knew that if it wasn't done, hey, who does your glass, right? So everyone knows the importance of really showing their best side. And when shit hits the fan, it's what do you do to fix it? How backwards can you bend to actually make things happen? And whether we're at a job site till midnight getting things done, people are working overtime, everyone just pitches in and does what they need to do. And when you treat them properly, you get everything. That's the key, is treating people properly. There's never a person that works for me that I would tell someone, this guy works for me. I say they work with me.
I love that.
Because it's a mentality thing.
100%.
And people, all of my employees and the people that work with me, they know how I am, and I treat them like family, and we've got a great group. And whether it's a trade or an employee, you want people to treat you the way you treat them. And the rewards are there. So that's That's how it worked best.
It sounds like you put a high premium in people that are team-oriented players.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've got clients who are like, oh, I want to use my painter, I want to use my mill worker. And I always tell them, I'm like, listen, if you want an MDK home, it's got to be with the MDK trades. If you want to bring your own trade in, I'll manage them. I'm happy to. I got nothing to hide by bringing someone else's trade or trying to use my own that I got some monetary.
Because why, you do cost plus, or?
I do cost plus.
Especially in a situation like that, right?
Yeah, and well, yeah,
Makes
I never
everything
do.
transparent.
Exactly, everything's transparent. All my books are open, very easy. Everyone gets original invoices. But when you're bringing in another trade that I don't know, and they vet them, not me, well, that doesn't mean anything. That holds no weight until I can see what they've done. Now, granted, I've met good trades that way, but for the most part, it's too much management. It's just because you have a hammer doesn't mean you're a framer, right?
Yes.
So we run into that a lot. And I just give the caveat to my clients. I'm like, listen, I'm happy to. You feel like you're saving 10 grand on this trade and you want to use them, that's great, but I'm just sign here.
For all the either people just getting into construction or new builders or just in general, what do you, especially to the subcontractors, what do you think is one of the most common mistakes that subcontractors make when trying, to develop a new relationship, or maybe they already have the opportunity? What's like a common thing? Like, for instance, I know a lot of our competitors, they're short on cash. Because they probably don't charge enough, they don't manage their money well, so they're just badgering the builder once the job's done. Where's my money? Where's my money? Where's my money? Like, what is a common thing to you that subcontractors should be mindful of, is to obviously not poke the bear?
Honestly, communication.
They don't communicate enough.
Not enough. Or as I like everyone to be, I expect everyone to have their phone on them.
Of course.
And
they do, by the way. Everybody's got their phone. So the fact that you don't get messages back right away, to me, is a sign of disrespect.
I'm like, you read that. I saw that.
Everybody has their fucking phones with them.
Yeah.
There's nobody that doesn't do that.
Yeah. Like, if I'm on a ladder, I'll answer my phone.
Of course.
But if you're on a ladder, I want you to answer the phone too.
Of course.
Right? I don't care.
Yeah.
But that's my expectation, because I want answers now. I want you to deal with me. I want you to respond to me right now. And I tell all my guys, and I've got a site super on every project, and when they're emailing trades and they're emailing suppliers, I have to reinforce all the time, don't expect that when you send an email that they're just going to reply. Badger them nicely, but don't wait for a reply. Don't wait a week. Oh, I haven't heard back from them.
Yeah.
If they haven't got back to you by the end of the day, you send another email, you call them, and you have a record of it. And so I'm big on that, because time is money.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, the client's the one paying the bill. And when things drag on for various reasons, if one of them is because we're sitting back waiting, well, that doesn't look good. So my guys know, and they've learned over the years, badger, in a nice way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Preserve their autonomy, but make sure that they're not procrastinating, because a lot of people are procrastinators.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe they're a really good craftsman, but their soft skills aren't good, or their business acumen might be poor. They don't build right away.
And they can't be great at everything. And if they were, then maybe they wouldn't be doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I use that analogy a lot, because, if it's a laborer and I expect a certain thing from them, I'm like, well, I have to remind myself, they're just a laborer with a certain task. I can't expect them to think like me, because that's not their job and that's not what they've been hired to do. And I'm not belittling them. Every
you have managed expectations.
Yes.
You know what you're getting into.
Yes.
Yeah. You're not trying to squeeze blood from a rock.
Right. And I listen, I shake my head a lot.
Yeah. You still have a full head of hair, so you can't be doing that bad.
Genetics are good.
Yeah. Looks good.
Thank you. Yeah. It's just one of those things. So yeah, communication is big, because anyone can give me a price and I can determine whether it's a good price or not.
Yes.
Anyone can, at least the people I go to, I know I'm going to go to reputable people that I know I'm going to get the quality of what I'm looking for. But if it takes you a month to price something, if it takes you a week to get back to me, if you don't answer my email when there's an issue and you don't have your office, or you call me right away to deal with it, that's a problem, because it's throwing everything in a tizzy. So we like to deal with things right away. I want answers. So I think, people, and I've learned that here, communication is huge. And when I reach out to people and I communicate, case in point with you, you even said to me, like, you're a communicator. The first, like, I'm right there. I'm getting back to you and we're talking. But when we sit back and wait, I'm like, well, I don't want to deal with this guy.
That tells me a lot about a human being. When it was the first thing I noticed with you, it's like, I saw your social media platform, like, wow, this company's put together. And then you doubled down on it with the way you were communicating back around. I'm like, man, this guy's a fucking dream builder. Like, these are people that we love to do business with.
Yeah.
30 years in the business is a long time, which means you've seen a lot. You've seen the mad, the sad, the glad. You've seen everything. As owners, we often learn most of our most important mistakes when they've cost us money or time, which is the same thing. Can you share, because again, you have an awesome Instagram page. We want everybody to check out MDK Construction, sexy page.
MDK_construction.
Yeah, I stand corrected, and we'll put that up on here as well. And that shows all the good stuff in the wins. Can you share with us one of the biggest losses that you took, and definitely the lesson that you learned from that?
What I've learned over the years is how to vet people better the way they're vetting me as a builder to hire me. So when I'm starting out, and like every job that would come to you, it's like, oh, we need to take this job. We need to take this job. And sometimes you have a bad feeling about a client. I'm not sure. This guy seems like an asshole. Is he going to pay me? Is he going to stiff me? Now I'm a very good judge of character, and I ask the right questions to my potential clients to see if they're a fit for me. And
you're vetting each other.
We're vetting each other, absolutely. Because, I mean, I've gotten to a place in my business where, you know, I want to sleep at night. I don't have to take every job that comes to me. I want a relationship with my client. This is a relationship that's, you know, for most of the time, the builds we do, 2 years, let's say. I want them to sleep at night as well and go to their job and not complain about their builder. So the lessons I've learned are follow your gut.
That is, to me,
I mean,
the last 5 years, I live on that now. Your gut is a second brain. I mean,
absolutely.
Most people, they say, I should have listened to my gut. No one's ever said, I shouldn't have listened to my gut.
Fair enough.
So you listen to your gut a lot.
I listen to my gut a lot.
Good.
I bounce a lot of stuff off my wife, and she is a very good sounding board for that stuff, which is good. And it's sometimes stuff I don't want to hear, obviously, but it really makes a difference. And proof is in the pudding, because the times where I have listened to my gut, and then I see stories or I hear stories of that person hiring another builder, and then I hear that he got screwed, he got, he was stiffed, and you know, he's costing him thousands of dollars. I'm like, okay, well, that was good. I mean, the best story I have was, this had to have been maybe 15 years ago. A guy wanted to hire us to build a house, but he wanted a fixed price. And I said, we don't do fixed price. There's too many unknowns. And he says, well, you know, I've got the other guy, he's going to do a fixed price. We got the plans from the architect, and, you know, it's going to be apples to apples. So, like, you know, what's the problem? I said, well, just not comfortable with it. And if you're going to want me to do that, there's going to be a big buffer in there for any errors. So he calls up after we've done our pricing, and he's like, listen, I really want to hire you guys, but you're $200,000 more than the other guy. That's a Ferrari. That's when Ferraris were only 200.
Yeah.
So he goes, that's a Ferrari. I can have a Ferrari for that. And if the architect is going to be signing off on stuff, and the plans are the plans, you guys are, you know, I can't justify it. I said, I'll tell you what. You can hire the other guy, you can buy your Ferrari, and then you can drive it into your shit house. And so he did. And we were on friendly terms, so I didn't say it like as an asshole.
Right.
But he hired the other guy, and they were in lawsuits the whole time. And that, to me, was like the biggest aha moment. Now, not because of the fixed price, but just about how to deal with them. And, you know, I would say that one of the best pieces of advice I've had in terms of dealing with people, especially bullies, ones that
there's sharks out there that want to take
the only way to deal with a bully is punch him right in the nose.
Yeah.
And you could sit back and take it. You can sit back and be like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. He's got more money than me. He can sue the hell out of me, and I don't want to deal with it. Or you can say, no, fuck you. I'm done. Or I'm not doing this job. Yeah. Or so that, and there have been a handful of those jobs I've had in my history where I wish I never took, but they were all learning experiences.
Well, absolutely, because there's a certain time you're growing the business. Maybe it flattens off. You need this next job to keep your guys going. but your gut's telling you, God, I shouldn't be taking this. But yeah, we've all done that.
Yep.
I mean, we've learned our lessons the hard way as well.
Yeah. And I've had a trade on one project who was hired by the owner sue everyone on the job because he didn't get paid. I'm not even the one paying him. He didn't do his job right, and the owner didn't want to pay. So he decided to sue everyone.
Is there a big difference in the construction, like lien laws and around construction north of the border to here? Or?
Not really. I think people are more litigious down here, where they would probably have their lawyers on standby more. I don't think there's a huge difference in the lien laws. We have a new legislation up in Canada now that basically protects the builder, where you can, if a client at the end of the day says, I'm not paying this final bill just because he doesn't want to, you can go into mediation or arbitration before you even go into a court through a certain process to basically say to the owner, everything was done in accordance with the plans. There was nothing to say that he shouldn't be paid. Nothing's incomplete. You need to pay. And it's a lot of these cases where sometimes it's a small enough amount where the builder's like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with it. He owes me 10 grand.
I was just going to say, out of all those, how many of them you think are just taking the shot because the customer knows the builder ain't got time for this, so he's going to drop his pants $50,000, $100,000, and to them, that's worth it.
Yeah. And that was me in one occasion too. And I actually walked away from 50 grand on a job just to not have to deal with this guy again. Because in the end...
And he knew what he was doing.
And he wasn't going to pay me in the end anyway. He screwed every other trade from every extra that he agreed to pay. And, it was a learning lesson.
It's necessary for us to go through those. Right? And as much
You
as
have
it's...
to.
I didn't go to college, but I tell people all the time, I've paid for it. I've paid like a master's degree.
Right.
At an Ivy League school,
Right.
too. I've learned every lesson the hard way.
Yep. And listen, you can't succeed in a business if you haven't failed at something. So you can't, listen, there are people out there that win and are lucky and everything's a win for them, and that's great. But the mass majority of people who are going into business and starting a business, you can't succeed if you haven't failed along the way. You have to learn from your mistakes and own them.
Own them. Accountability is a big thing.
Absolutely.
We talked, because we do a weekly podcast, and we're talking about with the next generations of laborers and skilled tradesmen. Here in the U.S., they're saying for every 7 people that are retiring as a tradesman, there's only 1 getting back in. So now we're seeing a smaller pool to pick from. And what are you guys doing to locate more manpower? And that's not a play on words, by the way,
Right.
with
Got it.
your boy, who I'd love to meet. He's got a great social media.
You'll meet him.
His consistency's on fire.
Yeah, no, you'll meet him. You'll meet him for sure.
What's his first name?
Fernando.
Fernando the Bull. He's got great social media.
Yeah, for sure. Are you finished your question?
Yeah.
I'm blank. I totally blank on your question. Fuck.
The newer generation
Yes.
of workers.
What are we doing to
Yeah, to
overcome
attract-
the
yeah.
lack of trades, we'll
Yeah,
say?
or at least attract from that small pool of talent.
So I think that once people see what we do here, we've been doing a lot of PR, a lot of marketing, and we're getting our name out in all the right avenues and all the right circles. And George that works for us, he has been instrumental in getting to where we are today. George is from Toronto.
Marketing guy.
Marketing, business development. He has been instrumental in where we are today because of, one, what he does, but also his connections and his desire to really grow the brand in a way that I've never had to in Toronto. I've never done marketing in Toronto. Everything's word of mouth, but I'm coming to a new place, not as a new builder, just as a new person here in town. So I've got to get the word out, show people what we can do. And we've been to all the top architects, designers, real estate agents, to where we're a name, but we just don't have product yet because we're not really operating yet until our office is done. And I think that once trades see, and on the trades that we've been working with so far in the office, they see the caliber of work that we do. They see the caliber of like the homes, the nature of what our goals are here and what we build, which I think is elevated from what the standard is here. And while the homes here are very beautiful and big and expensive, I think there's a lot lacking in the quality level. And I don't think anyone can contest that. But it's what you have. So how do we overcome that with a small trade pool, a small quality trade pool? Well, we have a lot of trades and craftsmen that are up in Canada that have the desire, just like me, to come down and do work. And they're in the process of figuring out how to come down, whether it's through a visa program or even just materials that we can send down. And regardless of tariffs, bringing down materials that are, I would say, even dollar for dollar. It's not like that stuff is that much more expensive, if at all, but it's going to be better. And I think down here, people are so restricted to the location. You can't go south to get anything. Too lazy to go north to get anything. If you're going to need something for a house, you just go to Home Depot and buy a product, and then you're done. And I'm like, well, but you can't build these houses with Home Depot products.
No.
Not slamming Home Depot, but like I don't want to buy.
It's a box store.
Yeah. So we're in the process of dealing with all that, because we do have some trades that are already relocated down here from Toronto, which are great, and they're the essential trades that we want for the quality. I mean, listen, block workers and roofers, these are all local people I can deal with and we can manage and make sure that they're doing it properly. But all the finishing trades, trim, millwork, stone guys. I mean, my office, all the materials from my office are coming from Toronto. And actually, a lot of the millwork and glass and metal frame systems are coming from a factory in the Ukraine.
Oh, really?
So, which I'm really excited to show you their product, because they do beautiful work. So
That's cool.
It's going to be a bit of a showroom for that product. But our office is going to be a showroom in itself of a miniature version of the quality and aesthetic and detail that we're going to offer. So we're excited about that, but that's kind of how we're going to overcome that. And
is there going to be a grand opening there?
There will be.
Is there a date on the books?
There is an unofficial.
Is this an announcement?
Well, the official announcement will go out in an invitation. My wife will kill me if I do it beforehand.
I don't want to get in between you two.
But I will say that we are having an opening party for which will be invite, and you are on the list.
Oh,
don't you worry.
Go.
Don't
okay,
worry.
Okay.
It will be in June.
I got dancing shoes.
Okay, and yeah, there will be, and we're really excited about it. Okay. But it will show a lot differently than any other home builder and home builder's office in town, at least that we've seen, because I think they don't need their office to be their showroom. I'm not saying they don't have nice offices, but we're doing it different. We want to make sure that, hey, we're coming here new. I don't have a home in the ground here yet, and if we're going to make an impact here, hey, wow, right?
I'm anxious to see it, and I know exactly.
I'll give you a preview.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get back to the younger generations. I've been, and I know you're on.
I skirted the question. I'm sorry.
Social media. How do you feel about subs marketing themselves while being on one of your job sites?
I like to support people where it's due. I don't want people taking credit for my work and then trying to pass it off as theirs. And it's a good thing you asked that, because that has happened. And I had an employee who was a laborer, but he had a renovation business on the side that I found out.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you were going to this. Oh, I see. So while working for you, he's got his side hustle.
Right, which I knew nothing about.
But he's on one of jobs at your job, saying,
using my photos.
Hey, side hustle, look at what I'm building.
Yes, and using my photos as projects that he's worked on as...
That's dirty pool.
Yeah, and so he doesn't work for me anymore.
Okay.
But
let's say
I only found out after he was let go. But still, I have no problem doing that, because... And I promote them on my Instagram.
Of course.
Not every one of my trades has an Instagram account or wants that, but like my cabinet guy, my trim guy, my stone guy, like there's a select few that...
Demo guy.
Yeah, for sure. There's a select few that I promote as well, because I want everyone to share in the exposure.
I think it's good business.
I don't have a rule that says you can't. You want to come on my job site and work and wear your T-shirts and show up, please. I don't own you.
I love it. And I like how candid you are about that.
And I don't own my trades that you only work on my jobs. Like, I can't pull you. You can work for whoever you want. But I know you work for me because I treat you well.
I love the answer. I think too many old heads are still skittish with the social, and they don't understand the relevance and the power from it, how it can spawn reciprocity, how one post could help out that sub to the next level. And he ain't ever going to forget that. I think it should be used as a tool. if it's done properly, just like anything else. Listen, these cell phones can be bad if they're used in a bad manner. Social media can be used in a good manner if you want it to.
Yep.
So I do not advocate people that are working for a company to use their job site as their promotion for their side hustle. I agree with you.
That was a one-off.
Yeah.
Which I don't really think happens for the most part.
Yeah.
Well, at least to me.
It's not talked about, but I bet it happens quite frequent in the market.
Yeah, more than we know.
Yeah.
But no, I'm a big believer of promoting other people because, like, why shouldn't everyone be successful? Right? I'm not trying to pull away from any. Like, coming down here, there's no way that I'm going to come into the Naples market and pull work away from all the successful builders that are there already. I'm going to join. I'm going to do something different. People are going to notice, and I'll get the clients that maybe wouldn't go to them anyway. So
I can
there's
tell
plenty
you
to go around.
firsthand, for being 22 years just in this little market, there is not a dozen, more than a half a dozen, but there's not a dozen high-end custom home builders like in your niche that understand what you're saying about the collaboration and the importance of supporting the subcontractor. There's probably 6 or 7 that I would run through fire for right now. If he called me and said, I need you down here, I got to sit, I wouldn't even ask a question.
Right.
I'm on my way. There's less than 10. And so hearing you say this, I'm encouraged that you're in this area because there's a lot of subs that would stand to benefit from working for somebody who gets it.
Remember, we're Canadian. We're nice.
Yeah, exactly. And now you're going to be down here in Southwest Florida.
That's right.
Who is your demographic that you're catering to mostly here in Naples? It's just new construction or high-end remodeling?
Yeah, so we do high-end remodeling, restoration, condos.
I was just going to say, have you
construction.
done... Toronto's got a ton of high-rises.
Oh, we've got the most tower cranes in the world right now.
Okay, so you're not...
and we've done a lot of condos.
You're not new to working high-rise work. So high-rise here in Naples, a lot of people shy away from that.
Well, that's also why it's good for us because...
Very good.
And every architect and designer that we've talked to, you know, MDK Construction is not MDK Custom Homes. You get a lot of guys that have custom homes like attached to their name, which kind of pigeonholes them into that custom home market. And it's not why I chose the name MDK Construction. It's just we've always done renovation. I mean, I started out doing renovations before doing new homes. So the fact that I'm coming down here, I don't want to just do new homes. I enjoy renovations because they're complicated. They're different. Now, Toronto's different because we've got homes that are 80, 100 years old that are historic and we're gutting and rebuilding. Down here, you don't have the same caliber of home to do that. It's an old cottage maybe. And
not a lot of vacant property either.
That too. So, but from a condo perspective, and for the most part, you've got your limited window of May to October here to do it, which is great because you're indoors. It's hot. You got air conditioning running. It's relatively easy work. And we do it a lot in Toronto, but the difference in Toronto, we love it in the winter so that we're inside.
Oh yeah.
We're inside. We have to worry about the snow.
Right.
But condo work is great work. And there's a huge market for here because the people I would say that are at my caliber of construction here, they don't do that. They don't want it. They don't need to. They don't need to. And I want to because I want to be diverse in the type of work that I do because it's what I do now.
The biggest benefit, hearing you say you like doing condo work is music to my ears. And 2, the biggest unknown with doing that is the referral game. Lucy Lou is going to see you and your workers every day for the next 6 months going in there. And when that owner's, it just spreads like fire. When you start doing good work in a high rise, it spreads like fire.
Oh, I know. And we also have with George, we're coming out with a program that'll be beneficial to the HOAs in these condos as well. That'll be, we don't have it on paper yet, but we've got a great concept that'll be really, really attractive to these condo boards.
Promote you?
Well, not so much to promote us, but also to, let the cat out of the bag, to put money into their fund.
Oh.
Sort of like a percentage back to be a preferred contractor in a building, let's say, right?
That's smart.
So no one copy that.
No, I haven't heard that since I've been down here, and it's been down here quite a bit.
So.
Too many people scoff at it. Just because parking's a pain in the ass. They didn't design these buildings for tradesmen to unload their material.
Yep, no.
Which I find to be egregious. You know, I want you to park 200 yards away, carry that glass out of there, but if you break that glass, it restricts anybody from going anywhere. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
But that's the rules that
But
we
we're
have to
not
play
scared
within.
and we're not scared of anything. I mean, it's no different than in downtown Toronto where there's no parking and either you get parking tickets or you're parking 300 feet away and you're carrying your tools and you're getting 3/4 of the day of efficiency because you spend so much time back and forth and trying to find parking and walking. It's just what we do.
You guys have plans to do any podcasting in the new studio?
I don't have to because I can come here.
Yes, you can. Anytime. Anytime.
So no, we don't. We don't have plans for it.
Okay.
But after this, you never know.
Yeah, the marketing.
You never know. I'll talk to Fernando.
I think it's a good idea. He's got a big personality too.
Absolutely.
I think both of you, you got great voice. Both of you would be excellent. We've used it and realized over the years that this is really the only time that we get to talk with a potential new opportunity or someone that we could collaborate where nobody's looking at their phone, cameras are on, so they're most likely telling the truth. And you get to build that rapport in a 45-minute, hour-long. It's just, there hasn't been a podcast that we haven't done that isn't turned into something else.
Great.
And so I'm a heavy advocate for it. And really, in the history of media advertising, newspaper, radio, television, billboards, all these other things require money and time. And somebody's got a proof of concept and this and that. The social media is free and it's current and it's quick.
Effective.
It's
Yep.
effective. Everybody's on it.
Yep.
Never in the time of the history of the world could I get into a 30-second video and post it and potentially go viral for $0.
Right.
So anybody that just scoffs at it now, I just don't understand.
Yeah. So for us, and talking to you earlier about my progression into social media and what we do now, it's not me that runs it. And
But what was the catalyst for you to approve it? Like, yes, MDK _ construction decided to get on Instagram. What was that catalyst that you say, you know what, I finally have to do this?
I think it's just seeing other people and just realizing like, why aren't I out there? Why don't I spread what I do? I don't know. I don't remember when we started, and it wasn't that long ago. And I'm going to say it probably had something to do with my wife, who
Smart answer, by the way.
who initially I think helped start it up, and
Yep.
and she has a marketing background, so it was natural for her. But I think it was just other people are doing it, so why don't I? Why don't I showcase my stuff? No one's really going to my website. I've never gotten a job from someone going to my website. Not that I market it that way either. It's just more go to my website if you want.
Have you received a job from the social media?
I have, funny enough.
Yes.
Well, I would say I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know if that's initially where clients have found me, or if it's through friends or acquaintances, because it's all word of mouth usually. But one job I got, who ended up being a close friend, I got through House,
Oh,
which
really?
I am not big on to begin with at all. And it turned out that he had lived in one of my old houses that my father built, and we had this connection. And then I ended up building his house, and now we're friends. And he's actually been down here, wanting to possibly invest with me down here. So we've developed a relationship that way. But it was one of those things. He's like, "Hey, I found you on House. I have my plans. I got my permit. We want to build," which is totally not how I like to have a job come to me. I want to be involved with the plans. I want to be involved with the planning and the clients. And by the time I break ground, I know this house like the back of my hand. This one came to me, we're permits. We want to start in 2 weeks. I'm like, whoa, that's not how we work. Ended up, I did the job and we tweaked some stuff and made things better. But off of House.
That's wild.
And
Have you had any dealings with the county recently? Like, how
building
does that
department?
compare to Toronto?
Oh, that's a tough question. It's very slow here.
Oh,
Well, not the county. So this is City of Naples.
right.
With
Comparatively speaking.
Yeah, so comparatively speaking to Toronto, it's definitely a lot slower.
Oh, shit.
There's a lot more red tape. They're a lot more particular, and it's not that Toronto. It's not that you're hiding things or they're letting things slide.
Right.
I think Toronto has. It's not gotten any better, but they say that you're supposed to get a permit within 6 weeks. But if there's a deficiency, they're going to put it to the bottom of the pile, and now that time constraint is lost, and they can get it to you anytime. So as long as your plans are good, they can get reviewed. and usually passed through in a reasonable amount of time. But with there's all the TRCA, which is dealing with all the trees and stuff in Toronto, which they're really big on not cutting down. And most homes that we build end up going to the Committee of Adjustment for all the variances that they need to get. And there's a process. And then there's neighbors that complain. And then there's concessions that people have to make. And, I had one job that it took them 18 months to go through the process of getting approvals. And it's out of our hands, right? And it screws up our process because we don't expect certain things to happen in those timeframes. So when we line up our jobs and my employees and my site supers to say, hey, well, this job's starting at this time, and I'm not taking other jobs because I only take so many, it screws me over sometimes because now I'm sitting there with my...
It's a huge curveball. Yeah, monkey
so I'm
wrench
like,
thrown
now
in.
what do I do? And I got to fill a hole, right? And sometimes I'm able to and sometimes not, and we deal with it. So I think in Toronto we plan for the worst because you never know. Here, my experiences with the office and dealing with the City of Naples and inspectors and everyone's been great. It's just been slow. But
you're not the
very
first person
particular.
to say
Yeah,
that.
very, very particular. And listen, we do things right. There was a learning curve for us in terms of the things that they look for versus the things that we do up there. That I'm not saying we can pass, but they're just different.
Yeah.
So we learn and we accommodate and we fix and we go on our way.
Well, we're excited to know that you've come down here and you're opening up shop in Naples. Anybody that's looking to get either you're qualifying new contractors because you're going through a new build, possibly remodeling in a condo or home. And what is the fall line? Are you going to service Marco Island?
Absolutely, we service the East Coast, but we service the East Coast.
Oh, as well.
We've got a condo on the East Coast already. So.
Oh wow.
Well, I say already. I mean, we're
but your
pricing
primary
it, but
business
primary is here,
Naples, Southwest
Yes.
Florida.
Yes.
Okay, and people can find you on Instagram.
You can find me on Instagram, MDK_construction, website, mdk-construction.com. You can get my phone number on there, and I'm always available, as you know.
And yes, and a very good communicator, I might add. And you're also going to be having a kickoff party to be determined, but definitely going to be coming up
In
close,
June.
Summertime.
Yep,
Perfect.
in June. Yep, we'll be. The office should be done by the end of May.
And the office is where?
500 Fifth Avenue South.
Fifth Avenue.
Smell that.
It just smells better down there. I love Fifth Avenue.
It was the right call. We looked at a lot of locations, and nowhere else made sense. And again,
Are you second floor?
second floor.
Smart.
No floods.
No floods.
No floods.
One of my favorite Instagram posts was during Ian. The sharks going down Fifth Avenue. I was like, wow, that's unbelievable. That's something that you just don't
Actually?
see there. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
I'll have to send it to you.
Yeah, so we don't have that to worry about at least.
No. You got different types of sharks you're going to have to deal with. Though.
Right.
Yeah.
But we saw a bunch of properties and nothing else made sense. And we're like, you know what? Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, but
It's perfect.
it's perfect. It's got the exposure. It's the cachet. It's a great place that I want to be every day.
It shows that you're committed. If you're willing to pony
Absolutely.
up that kind of money and plant your flag there, it speaks volumes to me. It speaks volumes.
Yeah,
because there's
and-
much other place. You could have went in the Trade Center and the industrial park. You said I want Fifth Avenue.
No, I want my sign on the building so people look up and they can see MDK Construction. Who are they? Oh,
That's awesome.
and we've got that now. And
That's a big flex.
And it is. And we felt, I'm not trying to be something bigger than I am.
Sure.
But you're coming to a market that is really upscale.
Of course.
And I want to be involved in that.
Game recognizes game. I think it's smart.
Yep.
Any charities that you, your company or family, like to talk about or that you give to? All charities are good.
Well, I can say that I know that events and charities down here are a big thing.
Yeah.
So we will be involved in that. I mean, we were involved in the Cars on Fifth, the Lux Lane.
Oh yeah.
So that Lux Lane
You're a
event,
car connoisseur.
I am a car connoisseur. Absolutely.
I noticed you pulled up in a pretty little whip this morning.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is that?
It's a 911 Turbo S.
But it's not like one that you would normally see.
No, it's got a little bit of work to it, but it's got a wrap on it. I do a rally called the Cannonball Run.
Okay, I really wanted to ask you about this real quick before we wrap up. First of all, one of my favorite movies back in the 80s was Cannonball Run. Right. But when I started getting on social media, I didn't realize this, but there is still like an underground real
an
cannonball.
actual, yes.
They do.
That's not what this is.
No.
Yeah, so there are.
Have you ever done one in your lifetime?
I have never done an actual race. So the Cannonball Run is a rally. It's a group of like-minded people that get together, about 25 cars, and it's a predetermined route, different every year, and it's put on by the Cannonball Run Rally, which is a company, and it's a legit car rally, and it's a different route every year, and it's amazing. The people are amazing.
That's cool.
So when I wrapped the car, I didn't want to unwrap it, not because it cost money to wrap it and it was a waste, but I love the wrap on it, and it really stands out. Now, Toronto, I would probably be a douchebag driving around in that car.
Oh, really?
But I knew that the car culture down here, when I brought the car down, I have never seen, and I didn't even expect what I got. But I have my MDK Construction on the car, so it's, I've got my free advertising, but I've got the wrap in it, and it's flashy. It stands out, and it's got Cannonball Run. And some people think, oh, you did the Cannonball Run. What was your time? I'm like, no, this is just a rally,
But I can get to your house real quick.
But I can get to your house real
and
quick.
it's sexy. It wouldn't look bad parked out in front of my house, I can tell you that.
But I come down here a couple times a month until we're down here full time, and I drive the car, and people see it, and they're like, oh, MDK Construction, what's that? And I end up making friends with people, and I actually got a potential job from someone saying, hey, what is that? I would never have expected that, and that's proof about how marketing works.
It's common ground right out of the gate.
But you're in a car culture here.
Yeah.
And it's, for a guy that's a car guy, like, you can't ask for a better environment to be in. So I
yeah,
love
because
that.
you don't have the big city like over on the, like it's laid back, but there is a high collection of people that do love their cars.
Of all ages. I got kids that love it, and I got 85-year-old men that'll stop me for 20 minutes and talk about cars, and he's a car guy from the 60s. And I'm like, who knew?
That's awesome.
And I love it. I love every bit about it. So cars and building, it seems that they go hand in hand here sometimes, right?
Well, we appreciate you coming by to come
I'm
on the
so happy to
podcast.
be here.
What do you think? What do you think of the place?
I love the place, and I'll be honest, I'm excited to come back.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Well, we appreciate the time.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much.
All righty.